guys, it's American Chucky, back with another YouTube video. And this time, I've got something amazing to show you. This is the USS Voyager. Now, you may be asking, but you already showed us your USS Voyager. Not this one. This one has been completely refit and revamped. And I think it looks amazing. We're going to be going through all the all the changes the refit has made, and at the end is a special announcement. Alright, so first let's take a look at the bridge section. Now, not only did I guess I lifted, not lifted, but what would the word be? Extending, lifting, or bulking. No, not bulked. No. Lifted. Okay, let's say I lifted deck 2. And I made it more accurate in the show because deck 2 is like is above the rest of the ship. So there's there's the saucer section, and then deck 2 kind of wraps over it. And I really wanted to replicate that this way. You see, I've got the single stud curved pieces right here. I've got this is actually the mess hall, I found out. This is the captain's quarters, but this is the mess hall. So I recently figured that out. And I upgraded the bridge. So instead of the bridge just being a single platform, it's going to be this section, but the front part wraps over the rest of the bridge, which is actually how the bridge is on the real ship. And I thought that looks awesome. I was like, yeah, it looks really awesome. And if we move down here a bit, you'll see I smoothed and extended the neck section back here, the superstructure, because I thought, well, the reason Voyager, my ship, looks so strange to me, especially when I was, panning out this way, was because the superstructure didn't curve into the rest of the ship. It just went, and I thought that looked strange. It's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be a smooth, nice little curve. And I was like, what can I do to make that curve? And I said, I have these curved pieces for the nacelles. They look nice. Why don't I use those? So I took a couple that I had just lying around, and I extended the neck a little bit, and then I added those, and I thought that looked really good. And I thought that looked really awesome. Now, if we go back towards the nacelles, you'll see that I removed the grill pieces because they just seemed padding the impulse engines out unnecessarily. And originally, I hadn't realized that the impulse engines were actually kind of flat on the real ship. And I was like, well, what am I doing? So I decided that I should just flatten them out. I moved out that kind of grill piece right there below the top impulse engine. I moved the rail piece, the rail part of it, off towards the nacelle because I don't know, that just made transport easier. Whenever I transport the ship or move it or put it in a bag or a backpack or something. Whoops, that fell off. Hold on. Well, let me just continue. Whenever I transport the ship or move it into like a backpack, I move the nacelles up and kind of keep them from getting damaged because that kind of helps give them a little more protection. And it makes the ship easier to transport other than just removing the nacelles altogether. And I was like, that that makes it easier for me to do that. So I decided to move the rail pieces outwards. Now, if we go towards this, move the nacelles back down. We go towards the top of the superstructure. We go down towards the shuttle bay. We'll see that I've changed the elevation, so it's a gradual thing. It goes zzz, zzz, zzz. And I honestly think that looks awesome. I don't know why I think that looks so good, but I think it just does. The cool thing about Legos is that you can make something, you can almost make, it's hard to explain, but you can add layers to something, essentially. For you Star Wars fans out there, well, I know not many of you watch my videos, but for your Star Wars fans out there, if you're familiar with the Recusant class light destroyer, and the Munificent class star frigate from Star Wars, the Clone Wars, you'll know that the Recusant, or at least the forward section of the Recusant, its superstructure almost looks like two star frigates stacked on top of each other. And now that I'm looking at the bottom super section, I'm looking at this and I'm like, huh, same thing. It almost looks like I took the shuttle bay, this part of the shuttle bay, and I moved it up progressively. I don't know why I needed to say that, but that just felt like something I needed to point out. We go towards the Busar collectors. I changed them to a darker color because, I don't know, that bright red, I never really liked that. And I think this looks a lot better. And I found the right pieces. So, that was awesome. Now, we move back up here. I forgot to mention, I removed the stud part of this. This is just a 1x2 flat. Yeah, so this entire section is smooth. We go here. What I did here was I removed 3x3 triangular plates that were here. I don't think I showed them in a video, but if I did, I removed them. And now they're just 2x3s, which I think look a little bit better. And I also needed the 3x3s for something else. We have the curved stud pieces right here, secondary deflector. We have the changed warp nacelle piece, which was originally, we have the changed impulse engine piece, which was originally here. Now, if we turn the ship over, you'll notice a really big change. I raised the saucer section, so you can see instead of a two layer gap between the bulkier bit and the saucer section, it's now 3, because I realized the nacelles were just way too close. I realized that the nacelles just needed to be a little bit further from the saucer, or at least a little bit lower, so that, you know, the ship will look a little bit better. So in this angle, you can see that there is a clear divide between the saucer section and the nacelles, where before it was like just teetering below the saucer section, but now you can see they're low. Oh, and I extended the deflector dish because, I don't know, I felt that the original was okay, but I think it needed some shape. So what I did is I made it more curved at the bottom. You know how Voyager's is kind of curved-ish at the bottom. I couldn't completely replicate that in Lego, but I'm satisfied and I really like this. Also, if we look here, I added 2 gray pieces. I thought the 2 gray pieces would look really nice, and they kind of add some color because the ship was starting to look a little too gray, which is kind of annoying. Like, the Enterprise had that problem for a while, but I'm working on that. The Enterprise had that problem where it was just looking so gray. To tie in with some lore here, when I first started experimenting with adding phasers to my Lego ships, I was at a time where I was struggling to find what I could add. Because before, phaser strips always seemed unnecessary and superfluous, if I can say that. But as I started improving my construction and as the ship started getting bigger and bigger, I think I was on the third or fourth rendition of the Enterprise. It was when I started making the saucer section with those 4x4 gray triangles, the same ones used here. It was at that point when I realized that, what can I add? And then I started experimenting with phaser strips. What I did with the Enterprise is I started removing bits and replacing them with small gray strips. The same ones, ironically, 1x8 gray strips, the same ones used here, or the same color used here. And I was like, these actually look kind of nice. And as I started, shaping them to the rest of the ship, adding curves, not making them look so squared off, I was like, this looks really, really good. And just a fun fact, I was watching Deja Q, one of my favorite episodes of The Next Generation. We're getting off topic here. Anyway, as we look back here, I added this gray piece also to add more color to the ship because it was looking more gray, and I didn't really like the gray stuff. And these circular phaser strips are temporary. I must stress this enough. Temporary. Okay? These are temporary. Hopefully. But yeah, I added these because I lost the others. And if we look right here, that gash right there, that kind of white-ish mark, is because I dropped this ship on the shuttle bay, or I dropped the ship like this. And the way the piece curved, the way the ship fell, it fell like this, and the piece kind of curved to the floor. I fixed it, but it still looks weird. But I keep it because it's a reminder. Right here, we'll see another big change. I separated the underbelly of the saucer section from the phaser strips. I realized one of the problems I was having was I wasn't looking at Voyager while I was building this ship. I knew what Voyager looked like, but I wasn't really trying in terms of what I knew I could do with my abilities in terms of construction. I started settling for things when I really should have been, improving, which is what this ship is, a massive improvement over the last one. As we can see, I separated the phaser strips from the underbelly, making it more accurate and, I think, a little nicer. There might be an aero shuttle here, right in this general area, okay? Just stay tuned, okay? I'm working on it, all right? Or there's some stuff I have to do, but I found some pieces, and I promise you're gonna see something here in a future video, all right? And yeah, that's the new Voyager. I just wanted to fill you guys in on what I've been doing for the last month. It's been this ship. Oh, I'm so stupid. I also forgot this. I did this because I didn't like for I don't know, years. The thing that's been plaguing me with these Voyager ships, with these Lego Voyagers, is the fact that they have had this weird thing where whenever you add more and more layers, but the layers get smaller and smaller as you get towards the top, towards the bridge, it looks like a slope. It looks like a straight it's hard to explain, but look at this, if you can see. Look at this. No, sorry, that's bad. It's a bad example. It looks like a trapezoid in a sense. But the slope is so acute that it makes the ship look almost like a triangle, and I hated that. It went on for a while. It's part of the reason I beefed up deck 2. You can see, like, right there is probably, sorry, I gotta fix that. Whoa. Right there is probably the best example. And it looks so weird, and I was like, ugh, it looks ugly. So what I decided to do was I thickened this section right here to lessen that, and I think it worked a little bit. Still has that thing, but it's more manageable here. Well, that's the video. Like and subscribe if you like the update, and more will come. Peace out. I don't know how to end these. I'm going to cut this out. And just before we leave, the special announcement is that I'm, in the future, gonna start doing analysis videos. Now, I have no idea how to do an analysis video, but I'm gonna figure it out. Alright? That was the announcement. I'm gonna start analyzing episodes of Trek. Okay? And yeah, that was it. Alright? That's the special announcement. Live long and prosper.